Okay, welcome back to Module 9. We are gradually coming to the end of this course. For Module 9, we are looking at the human element. We are looking at ethics, we are looking at literacy, and we are looking at the resilience factor. Now, by way of objectives, by the end of this module, you should be able to develop information literacy skills to assess, to verify, and to critically analyze information sources. You should be able to understand the financial impact of data and calculate the cost of data loss in a business context. CODL, that's cost of data loss. Then you should be able to apply strategies to manage information overload and reduce stress caused by 24/7 connectivity. You should be able to also implement techniques to foster psychological resilience in handling digital information and maintaining mental clarity. By way of introduction, in today's world, information is abundant and easily accessible. However, this overwhelming availability of data can have both positive and negative effects. While information drives innovation and decision making, it can also lead to confusion, stress, and poor decision making if not properly managed. To effectively navigate this information-rich landscape, individuals and organizations must develop strong information management skills. This module explores key concepts in information literacy, understanding the financial impact of data, and building psychological resilience to cope with the challenges posed by information overload. We will discuss techniques to manage information diets. We will also discuss strategies to value data as a corporate asset and how to cope with the psychological effects of constant connectivity and infobesity. Now, let's look at the first, which is information literacy, maintaining mental clarity. What is information literacy? This is the ability to evaluate, verify, and critically analyze information from diverse sources. This is essential for making informed decisions and avoiding misinformation. Now, let's look at information diets. This is curating your data consumption to avoid information overload and ensure clarity. This is what information diet is. Now, for some of the best practices, limit your sources. Focus on few reputable sources rather than consuming from every available platform. Yes. Then prioritize quality over quantity. Seek deep, reliable content rather than focusing on the volume, the amount, or how vast it is. Then practice critical thinking. Always question and evaluate information that you encounter. Now let's look at cost of data loss, popularly known as CODL. This is valuing your data as a corporate asset. Now, what is CDOL? This is a comprehensive financial impact and organization experiences when data becomes unavailable or corrupted. So this is like calculating the cost that if your organization will lose if data that was available becomes totally unavailable, or data becomes bad or is corrupted. Now, it comprises of two costs, which is the direct cost and the indirect cost. Now, for the direct cost, we have legal fees, we have recovery cost, and we have revenue loss. For the legal fees, this is due to regulatory investigations or lawsuits that may have occurred, or that will occur rather after you have lost those data. The recovery cost, after you have lost the data, expenses incurred to restore these lost data. There is also revenue loss. This is caused by downtime or operational disruption. Then we have indirect costs. Now, some of the indirect costs in losing data is reputational damage. That there's loss of trust that can hurt long-term customer relationships. There's operational disruption. Data loss can hinder decision-making and delay critical projects. Now let's look at CDOL. Let's look at how to calculate CDOL. That is the cost of data loss. The formula is cost per lost record times number of record lost plus operational downtime cost plus recovery and mitigation expenses. Now, this is an example of a calculation here. Let's say we have our original data at 1 million customer record. That's what we have in our company, for example. Then The cost per loss record is $50. Then the recovery cost to recover them back is $100,000. Then your operational downtime, the time that your data is not working or your server is not working, is $200,000. That's what you lost. Then your total cost of data loss is 50,300,000. How do you get that? It is the cost per record, which is what? $50 times number of record loss, which is $50 times 1 million customer names. That's what? $50 million. Plus the operational downtime cost, which is what? $200,000. Plus what? Your recovery and mitigation expense, which is what? $100,000, which is what? $50,300,000. Now let's look at some of the best practices to minimize cost of data loss. Implement the 3-2-1 backup rule. We already explained that in the previous modules, where you maintain 3 copies of data, 2 types of storage, and 1 offsite backup. Now, you can also carry out regular data audits to ensure data integrity and accuracy to reduce the likelihood of what? Corruption. You can also carry out cybersecurity measures. You can use encryption, firewalls, and employee awareness programs to prevent unauthorized access. You can also carry out disaster recovery planning to develop and test recovery protocols with tools and NAS devices, cloud backups, and RAID configurations. Now, let's look at coping with information overload. It's also called infobesity. What's information overload? This is the mental strain caused by consuming excessive amount of information that overwhelms an individual's cognitive capabilities. What are some of the effects? We have cognitive fatigue, that is mental exhaustion. We have impaired decision making, and we have reduced productivity. What are some of the coping strategies? Set boundaries. Limit the amount of information you engage with daily. Disconnect regularly to reduce cognitive strain. Another strategy is to prioritize essential information only. Focus on high priority data and filter out irrelevant content. Then practice mindfulness. Engage in techniques like meditation or deep breathing to reduce stress and maintain focus. Now let's look at how to manage 24/7 connectivity in your organization. What are some of the best practices? But first, let's look at the challenges of having constant connectivity. This is I'm talking about power and all. Now let's look at the challenges. Blurring the lines between work and personal life, leading to stress and burnout, can be very difficult balancing work and personal life. Very difficult, but it's doable. Now, let's look at some of the best practices for managing connectivity. Number 1, we have schedule breaks. Integrate regular breaks throughout the day to step away from digital devices. It's very important. Implement digital detoxes. Allocate dedicated periods where you disconnect from emails, social media, and work applications. A detox is like an app that can lock up some your software until a time that you allocated. Then prioritize tasks and information. Use task management systems to categorize work by urgency and importance. By way of conclusion, in a world overwhelmed by information, the ability to manage, evaluate, and protect data is more important than ever. This module made us understand that by developing information literacy, businesses can avoid misinformation and confusion, making better, more focused decisions. Additionally, valuing data as a corporate asset and understanding the cost of data loss ensures that individuals are equipped to handle the financial implications of disruptions. Finally, fostering psychological resilience through strategies for managing information overload is essential for maintaining mental clarity and well-being in the digital age. Now, at the end of this module, there's an assessment where you do 15 multiple choice questions to assess your knowledge, and you write a report with a reward scenario where you propose strategies to help the organizations to manage its data and to improve psychological resilience among employees. That'll be all for this module. I will see you in the last module.